It started with a shoulder check, a blindside hit away from the ball that sent the #1 rookie crashing to the floor. It continued with cheers from the bench for the foul. It was a welcome to the league moment that felt less like competition and more like a warning. For months, this was the entire narrative surrounding Caitlin Clark in the WNBA. A story of jealousy, of physicality, of a league seemingly at war with its own biggest star. But just as that narrative was cementing, a different picture emerged. This new picture didn't take place in a packed, hostile basketball arena. It was on a quiet, sun-drenched golf course in Florida, at the Annika Pro-Am, and the crowd was massive. Before the sun even came up, fans were lining the fairways. But they weren't wearing golf polos. They were wearing Indiana Fever jerseys. They were holding signs. They were chanting her name at a Wednesday Pro-Am, an event that is usually a quiet, low-key affair for sponsors. The LPGA's biggest stars, the ones who should have been the main attraction, were instead looking on with amusement as a basketball player took over their sport for the day. While one league was busy debating the definition of a hard foul, another league was showing the world how to capitalize on a superstar. And in the process, they exposed the WNBA's $15 million mistake. Let's talk about that number. $15 million. The internet exploded with rumors that Caitlin Clark showed up to a casual Pro-Am and walked away with $15 million in new deals over a single weekend. Other rumors swirled, claiming $8 million, or even a $50 million contract. But did she really sign a $15 million deal in one weekend? The short answer is no. That was a sensationalized lie. But the truth is infinitely more fascinating, and in many ways far worse for the WNBA's front office. The $15 million figure isn't a paycheck she received. It's a symbol of the money the WNBA is actively leaving on the table, all because a handful of its veteran stars can't handle the new spotlight. To understand what really happened, you have to follow the money. First, you have to look at the embarrassing number the WNBA is actually paying her. As the #1 draft pick, Clark's 2024 salary was a shockingly low $76,535. Her 2025 salary, a mere $78,066. These numbers are a joke in professional sports, but they are the root of this entire controversy. Because while the league is paying her in pocket change, the world is valuing her in the tens of millions. Her record-breaking 8-year Nike deal is worth a reported $28 million. She has other massive multi-million-dollar deals with Wilson, Gatorade, and State Farm. Her total 2024 endorsements are valued at a staggering $11 million for the year. Now here's the dot that no one else connected. The golf tournament she played in, the Annika driven by Gainbridge at Pelican, wasn't a random invitation. Look at the name Gainbridge. Caitlin Clark has been a brand ambassador for Gainbridge for years. This wasn't a new deal. This was an activation for a sponsor she already has. Gainbridge, a company outside the WNBA, organized an entire event around their asset. They put their superstar basketball player on a golf course and created a media event that absolutely dwarfed a normal LPGA tournament. The $15 million rumor isn't a fact. It's a demonstration of her existing multi-million-dollar power. It proved in one weekend that Caitlin Clark's brand is so powerful that she can walk into an entirely different sport and generate millions in exposure. She proved she was worth that $15 million. And the WNBA just had to sit, watch, and get none of the credit, all while paying her less than $80,000. What happened at that Pro-Am wasn't just a fun day, it was a calculated business masterclass by the LPGA and Gainbridge. It was a step-by-step playbook on exactly how to use a generational talent, a playbook the WNBA for some reason refuses to even open. The competitor's video you saw got this part right. The WNBA has a jealousy problem, and the LPGA's event exposed it for the entire world to see. From the moment she was announced, the LPGA did everything right. This wasn't a simple invite. They didn't just stick her on a tee time with a few local sponsors. No, they built the entire day around her. Step 1. They paired her with the two most important people possible. For the first 9 holes, she played alongside world #1 and fellow Nike athlete Nelly Korda. This created an immediate visual of greatness recognizes greatness. For the back 9, she played with the tournament's host and one of the undisputed GOATs of golf, Annika Sorenstam. For the 1Rs, would she be wearing GOATs of golf, Annika Sorenstam? The message was clear. She belongs with the legends. Step 2. They promoted it. They understood that the Clark effect meant her fans would follow. And they did. The crowds were unprecedented for a Wednesday Pro-Am. We're not talking about a few extra people. We're talking about a crowd so large that Annika Sorenstam herself, a 10-time major champion, was stunned. When asked if she had ever seen a crowd that big for a Wednesday Pro-Am, she gave a one-word answer on the LPGA, no. Step 3, and this is the most important part. The media responded to the LPGA's smart move. The Golf Channel tore up its broadcast schedule for her. They moved their flagship show Golf Today up by 90 minutes. They aired her round live. You have to understand, Pro-Ams are never televised live. They are casual, non-competitive rounds. But the Golf Channel knew that Caitlin Clark playing 9 holes of casual golf was bigger than most professional final rounds. The ratings, as reported by insiders, went through the roof. The hashtag Clark effect trended globally. Nelly Korda, the best female golfer on the planet, summed it up perfectly. She said, "I've never really tuned in to watching basketball before her. I think it's just growing the interest in all women's sports." That's the entire point. The LPGA's strategy was a rising tide lifts all boats. They used Clark's spotlight to shine a light on their stars, and in doing so they revealed the WNBA's strategy for what it is: poke a hole in the new boat so ours still looks the tallest. The golf world rolled out the red carpet, and everybody won. And in response, the WNBA's biggest names went completely silent. This is where the story gets dark. Because the moment the cameras were on, the moment the crowds cheered, and the moment the Golf Channel cut its broadcast, fans online noticed something deeply strange. The same players who had spent an entire season talking about Caitlin Clark couldn't stop mentioning her name in press conferences and were fueling a narrative of rivalry, suddenly had nothing to say. There was radio silence from Aja Wilson, there was radio silence from Angel Reese, and that silence was deafening. It didn't just go unnoticed, it became the entire story. Fans and commentators immediately started pulling the receipts. The competitor's video was right. People were noticing a pattern. For weeks, rumors had been bubbling that Aja Wilson was reportedly furious about the LPGA's masterclass in marketing Clark. This was the physical proof. Angel Reese, too, was a complete ghost on social media regarding the event. This is the same Angel Reese who, after Clark was unanimously named AP Rookie of the Year, posted a cryptic, unbothered tweet that said, "Woke up again a very blessed girl, a very happy girl." That tweet was seen by everyone as a passive-aggressive shot, a way of saying "I don't care" when everyone knew she did. The contrast was just too perfect. These players had time to throw shade all year. They had time to talk about media coverage, about who was really growing the game, and to fuel drama. But when that same player crossed over into another sport and brought thousands of new fans to women's golf, they suddenly lost their Wi-Fi. This is why the jealousy problem narrative isn't just a hater invention. It's not just fans. It is a direct, logical conclusion drawn from the observable inactions of her biggest rivals. In the modern era, where every athlete is a media brand, not posting is a statement. A simple congrats or good for women's sports would have been the easy professional PR move. It's what you do when you're a secure, established star. The fact that they couldn't or wouldn't do it said everything. It revealed that their issue with Clark wasn't about competition, it was personal. But while the internet was laser-focused on the rivals' bitter silence, they missed the real story happening on the golf course. It was a moment that the competitor's script completely lied about, because the truth is so much more powerful. The internet was flooded with lies about her performance. The competitor's video you saw claimed she shot 13 under par and broke the previous Pro-Am record. This is a total fabrication. It's a lie. That 13 under par stat? We looked it up. It came from a different college golfer named Emma Chen at a different NCAA regional event. It had absolutely nothing to do with Caitlin Clark. The real score was a -10, and it wasn't her score. It was her team's score in a scramble format, where you always take the best shot. Her personal golf handicap is reportedly around a 16, which is good for an amateur, but not remotely close to a pro. No, the most important shot Caitlin Clark hit that day wasn't a record breaker. It was a disaster, and it revealed everything. On the third hole, a par 3, with thousands of fans and live cameras watching her every move, Clark stepped up to the tee. She swung and she hit a horrendous shank. It was an embarrassing topping duck hook that went nowhere near the green. The ball shot low and hard, directly into the massive gallery and hit a spectator. This was the moment of truth. This was the moment of high-pressure public failure that her rivals dream of. This is the moment where an arrogant, entitled superstar, as she is so often painted, would have thrown her club, cursed, or stormed off to the next tee. But that's not what happened. What happened next is the real story. The second the ball left her club, Clark didn't pout. She laughed. She immediately put her hand up and yelled "sorry" to the crowd. Then, showing her incredible humor and composure, she reached into her pocket for another ball, teed it up and joked to the crowd, "Thanks for the kick, whoever I hit." The crowd didn't boo, they laughed with her. She was human, she was relatable. She wasn't a golf god, she was one of them. Later, she found the fan she had hit and signed the golf ball for them. That one moment, that shank, and her reaction to it did more for her brand than 1,000 perfect drives. This is the untold story that her rivals don't want to talk about. Her rivals want to paint her as an entitled rookie who gets everything handed to her. But her reaction to that public shank revealed everything they don't want to admit. She's authentic. She has no ego. She's charismatic. And that is why the Clark effect is real. It's not just the logo, it's the personality. That single embarrassing shank made her more powerful and made the perceived jealousy from her silent rivals look even more petty and ridiculous. But the rivals weren't the only WNBA players watching, and the other reactions were just as revealing. While Aja Wilson and Angel Reese were giving the silent treatment, Clark's own Indiana Fever teammates were loud. And their reactions prove that the jealousy problem isn't a WNBA problem, it's a rival problem. The first reaction came from her teammate Sophie Cunningham. Cunningham wasn't just tweeting about the event, she was in it. She signed up to be Clark's celebrity caddy for the day, and she played the part to perfection. She joked on social media that she was going to be heckling Clark from 2 feet away, and that her main job was to carry the snacks and a beer. The whole thing was lighthearted and fun. At one point, Cunningham posted a photo celebrating her new caddy role, but she misspelled the golf term for as F-O-U-R. Clark immediately got in the comments and publicly corrected her teammate. It was pure, supportive, fun. But the best reaction, the one that truly exposed the difference between a secure teammate and an insecure rival, came from Fever guard Grace Berger. Now, what most fans didn't know is that Grace Berger is the real golfer on the Indiana Fever. She's not just good, she's a former high school state champion in golf. This was a fact Clark didn't even know until a reporter told her, which led to Clark joking in a press conference that Berger must be scared to play her. So when Clark posted her glamorous professional photos from the Pro-Am on Instagram, looking like a total pro, Grace Berger was waiting. Berger had clearly seen the video of the infamous shank on the 3rd hole, and she left a savage public comment on Clark's post for the whole world to see. She wrote, "If I hadn't seen the video of the shank, these photos would have convinced me that you could beat me." Their other teammate, 2024 WNBA Rookie of the Year Aaliyah Boston, immediately jumped in the replies, writing, "Grace Berger, why are you so funny? This is everything. This is the real welcome to the league." The rivals, Aja and Angel, reacted to Clark's success with silent resentment. The teammates, Grace and Sophie, reacted to Clark's failure, the shank, with public supportive roasting. That roast is respect. It's the secure, locker room banter that shows you are one of them. The teammates' roasting looked like a family. The rivals' silence looked like bitter jealousy. This contrast proves the jealousy problem is isolated. It's not the WNBA, it's a few insecure players who can't stand her light. But while the WNBA was busy sorting out its internal drama, the real goats of the sports world had already made their decision. The competitor's script, the one built on lies, had to invent a GOAT cosign. It fabricated an entire scene with Tiger Woods, claiming Tiger said it was the best first swing he'd ever seen, and offered her a private training session. This never happened. There is zero evidence for any of it. They had to make it up. And the reason they had to make it up is that they missed the real story. She didn't need a fake Tiger Woods cosign because she got a real one from Michael Jordan. That's right. Just days before the Pro-Am, in early November, photos surfaced on social media of Caitlin Clark at Grove X Dexter. If you don't know what Grove X Dexter is, let me explain. It's Michael Jordan's legendary ultra-private, ultra-exclusive golf course in Hobie Sound, Florida. It's famously nicknamed Slaughterhouse 2-3 because Jordan, a notorious golf gambler, designed the course to perfectly suit his game and destroy his opponents. You cannot book a tee time there. You cannot buy a membership. There is only one way to play Grove X Dexter. You have to be personally invited by Michael Jordan himself. This is the quiet part. This is the insider insult to her rivals that's more powerful than any tweet. The MJ invite is one of the ultimate status symbols in the professional sports world. It's a quiet nod of peerage. It means Michael Jordan, the undisputed GOAT, sees her as part of the transcendent athlete club. This cosign is reinforced by all the other GOATs. LeBron James has repeatedly sung her praises, even predicting golf wins with her on social media. Patrick Mahomes has called her a tremendous athlete and tremendous role model. Serena Williams has given her advice on how to handle the pressure. The real story is an establishment of her class. While a small, loud faction of the WNBA is trying to demote her, haze her, and treat her like a rookie, The GOATs of all sports, Jordan, LeBron, Serena, are promoting her to their level. While her WNBA rivals were acting like she wasn't in their league, Michael Jordan was busy inviting her into his, and that is the final crushing piece of the puzzle. So let's connect the final dots. That $15 million isn't a paycheck, it's a lesson. It's a lesson in value that the WNBA is failing to learn. In one weekend, the LPGA proved that the Clark effect is portable, that it's a positive-sum game, and that her star power can lift an entire league, if that league is smart enough to embrace it. The WNBA's rivals, through their bitter silence, proved that their problem with her is personal, not professional. The Indiana Fever teammates, through their hilarious roast, proved that a secure, supportive team culture can exist, which only makes the rivals look worse. Caitlin Clark, by shanking a ball into the crowd and laughing about it, proved her humanity and her charisma are the real X factors. And Michael Jordan, by extending his private invitation, proved her status among the legends is already locked in. Caitlin Clark proved in one weekend that she doesn't need the WNBA's approval to be a global multi-million-dollar icon. The WNBA's jealousy problem isn't hurting Caitlin Clark, it's crushing their own league. They are so busy trying to welcome her to the league that they are letting other sports steal the billion-dollar asset she represents. The LPGA just gave them a masterclass in marketing, and the WNBA's loudest critics were nowhere to be found. That is the $15 million mistake.